Hello and welcome back. Apologies for my somewhat hushed tone. It is currently 1 in the morning, so I'm gonna try and just keep things a little on the quieter side. There are phones and phone books. No need to examine this. Look, Harry, I solved a puzzle with a bright pink rubber ball earlier. I don't think you can discount a phone book as potentially being important.
Hold it! Stop! Don't shoot! Wait! I'm not here to fight. My name is Harry Mason. I'm in town on vacation.
Thank God, another human being.
Do you work here?
I'm Dr. Michael Kaufman. I work at this hospital.
So maybe you can tell me what's going on.
I really can't say. I was taking a nap in the staff room. When I woke up, it was like this. Everyone seems to have disappeared. And it's snowing out, this time of year. Something's gone seriously wrong. Did you see those monsters? Have you ever seen such aberrations? Ever even heard of such things? You and I both know creatures like that don't exist.
Yeah. Have you seen a little girl anywhere? I'm looking for my daughter. She's only 7, short, black hair.
She's missing. I'm sorry. But with all those monsters around, I highly doubt that she's... Sorry, I didn't mean to alarm you. Your wife, she's here with you?
She died 4 years ago. Now it's just me and my daughter.
I see. I'm sorry. Well, I'd better be going. I can't just sit around here doing nothing.
So long. Good luck out there.
You know, for being an abandoned ghost town, there are a lot more people still walking around in Silent Hill than I expected. Make sure to come around this way to not only pick up a med kit, but also the map for the hospital. There's a newspaper. This article's been clipped out. Okay, so that might seem a little confusing, and it's one of the many problems with this game's English translation. You might have expected me to start reading an article, but there isn't one to read. The phrase, "this article has been clipped out," kind of implies there is an article that has been clipped out that is ready to read. What it should say is something like, "An article has been clipped out." Harry's merely pointing out that an article is missing. This is another thing that kind of confused me and I thought was some sort of bug. Yeah, for some reason this version of the hospital is, as far as I remember, the only Silent Hill location that requires 2 separate maps. Phone's out. Can't get a dial tone. Now, there aren't any main items in here for progression. However, you're going to want to stop in the kitchen to pick up one of these plastic bottles. I'll explain what it's for in a moment. Oh, this is quite the mess. Someone's been tearing through here looking for something. A glass vial lies shattered. It's not just broken, not on accident, it looks smashed on purpose. Well, we might as well scoop up some of this mysterious red liquid into that bottle we just collected. Like the bottle itself, this is obviously optional, but it will come in handy later down the line. It's not even identified in any way in your inventory, just being described as an unknown liquid found in the hospital director's room. That wasn't my editing this time. There's a loading screen in the middle of the stairs for some reason. Still no real enemies to be seen. Well, no real threatening enemies anyway. The in-house generator powers elevators, ICUs, and operating rooms only. This is a roundabout way of telling you that this switch will not turn any of the lights on. All of the other doors down here are sealed, however we can access the elevator. Alchemilla has 3 floors and a basement, and we've already been to the first floor, so... Well, so much for that. Let's try the 3rd floor. This one is jammed as well. I'm pretty sure I didn't miss any rooms on the 1st floor. Maybe we need to head back outside or something. Ugh, it's not quite the other world, but this floor looks nasty. Something paranormal is definitely going on here. And now it's pitch dark again as well. What is that thing on her back? This pitiable thing is a puppet nurse. Puppet nurses were once human beings, who now have a parasitic organism affixed to their back that controls their movements. They move rather quickly, and will attempt to swing their scalpels at Harry. They can also grab you, but at nowhere near the same frequency as the Grey Children. The color of their cardigan denotes the amount of health they have. A steel plate is screwed to the wall. It would seem that while we now have access to all 4 floors in the basement, Alchemilla 2 has been invaded by the other world. VCR. It's old, but usable. We don't have any VHS tapes on us at the moment, but Harry keeps this place in mind and marks it down on his map. Here are some dryers. Useless now. An IV bag full of blood. Not like there's a shortage of the stuff everywhere else, but we'll take it regardless. some kind of stone plate with a cat on it. I'll admit it's pretty different from what we've been picking up so far, but such a unique item must have a unique purpose. We visited pretty much every location on the 3rd floor except, the bathrooms. I forgot about those. Better go check them just to be sure. Another plate. This one's blue, it's got a turtle on it. It's a good thing I decided to come back here, otherwise I might have missed this. Bad luck for Harry. Even in the other world, the door to the 2nd floor is still locked. That possessed man over there is a puppet doctor, and exists in much the same vein as the puppet nurse. The only real difference being that it trades out some of its speed for extra strength. Considering the only thing that makes the puppet nurses dangerous is how quickly they approach you, puppet doctors are actually easier to dispose of. Unlike the nurses, however, there is only one color of puppet doctor, and they all have the same amount of health. Unlike the Grey Children, the puppet nurse's grabbing you doesn't actually harm you. It's only intended to hold you in place. Body is laid out on this bed. I don't feel like checking it out. Here we are in the generator room again. And while there is no longer a point to interact with the generator itself, this room now contains a large red hammer. This hammer, typically used for emergency purposes, is easily the best melee weapon in the game, at least the best one that you can acquire through normal means. While it is the slowest of the normal weapons, its strength more than makes up for it, being able to kill almost any enemy in the game in 2 or 3 power swings. It also deals such a huge amount of stun damage that most enemies will be knocked back or knocked to the floor when you hit them with it, making it pretty much my go-to item from this point on. It appears we have another plate here. This one is red and has a queen on it. If you haven't figured out the theming of these plates yet, I'm sure you will by the time we collect the final one. I don't know if this room is left over from some kind of beta or something. It's, as far as I know, the only room in the game that is completely empty and purposeless. It's locked. A sound is heard from beyond the door. Except, it isn't. I've tried turning up the volume as loud as I can, and I've done this section multiple times. There's never an actual sound that plays, which is very, very peculiar. The game's sound design is so strong everywhere else, but instead of actually placing some sort of bizarre sound behind the door, Harry simply narrates its existence. Some kind of plaque on the wall called the Grim Reaper's List. I'm actually not going to bother reading any of this out or discussing it in any way, as this plaque has no purpose in our visit to the hospital. It's a red herring. It does nothing. There's a lighter here that we can pick up, despite the fact that Harry had a lighter at the beginning of the game. He used it in the alley, if you recall. I'm not quite sure what happened to it, but I guess it hasn't been in our inventory up to this point. Slate. Nothing more than that. This slate, just like the plaque we saw with the Grim Reaper's list, is completely pointless and cannot be interacted with in any way. What is that sound? What the hell are those? They seem to be sucking at the blood on the floor. We need to get them out of the way. The last plaque is on the wall behind them. Fortunately, we collected this blood pack from the supply room earlier. If you're curious, attempting to get close without first tossing the blood pack will result in an instant death, sending you back to the title screen. Looks like someone tore a page out of a notebook and taped it to the wall. Clouds flowing over a hill, sky on a sunny day, tangerines that are bitter, lucky four-leaf clover, violets in the garden, dandelions along a path, unavoidable sleeping time, and liquid flowing from a slashed wrist. This is obviously a clue of some sort. And I would presume it's for this door over here with the complicated locking mechanism. There are 4 square indentations on the door, as well as 4 colored plates that are already placed. As I did with the previous puzzle at the school, I'm going to present you with the clue and all of the puzzle materials that you need to solve it. You're more than welcome to pause the video now and attempt to find the solution on your own. So this puzzle with the door is probably the easiest puzzle in the entire game. It's just colors. Each of the lines in the poem describes a different color, the 4 that are already in the door, and the 4 plates in your inventory. If you pay attention to the order of the poem, you'll notice that all of the colors are listed off in a clockwise direction. So simply place our plates in the correct slots that line up with their positioning in the poem, and there you go. Come to think of it, Alchemilla Hospital is kind of easier overall than Midwich. The nurses are much easier to deal with than the damn Grey children. The main puzzle is way easier, and while there are more floors, the floors themselves are smaller and easier to navigate. Alchemilla also lacks a Fog World variant almost entirely, unlike Midwich, which had an entire scavenger hunt that had to be completed before you could go to the other world. I don't mean this as a criticism, it's just a strange observation. Well, this bottle is oddly clean. Oh, it's disinfecting alcohol. That explains it. Using the key we picked up earlier, we can now get into the basement storeroom. Well, it's a storeroom, alright. There's a few usable items here, and hold on, this shelf looks very out of place. There's scrapes along the floor as well. Looks like a hallway under the grate. I can't move it since the vines have grown around it. Well, the best solution for getting rid of plants is, of course, covering them in alcohol and setting them on fire. And we just so happen to have the materials to do so. We've stumbled upon some sort of sub-basement. This area isn't very large, but there's no map, so pay attention to where you've been and where you're going. Looks like we've got a bloody VHS on this table. We'll have to head back up and use that when we're done exploring down here.
What's this? Looks like someone's been here.
This girl. It's the girl we've been seeing around town. Alessa. I guess her name's Alessa. why would there be a hospital bed and all that machinery this far down? Doesn't make any sense. No time to worry about that now, though. Let's head back upstairs and check out that VHS tape. Ugh, it's almost completely unintelligible. Just staticky nonsense. Using the key we got from that weird room in the basement, we can go check out the examination room now.
Finally, someone else who's okay.
Who are you?
My name's Lisa Garland. What's yours?
Harry Mason.
Harry, tell me what's happening here. Where is everybody? I must have gotten knocked out. When I came to, everyone was gone. It's awful.
So you don't know anything either. Great. I just don't get it. It's like this is all some kind of bad dream.
Yeah, a living nightmare.
Let me ask you, have you seen a little girl around here? Short, black hair, 7 years old?
A 7-year-old girl. What, she's your daughter?
Yes.
A 7-year-old girl. I can't say that I have. I was unconscious all this time. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Do you know anything about all that weird stuff in the basement?
No. Why? Is there something down there?
You don't know? Don't you work here?
We're under strict orders never to enter the basement storeroom. So I really don't know. What did you say was down there?
Well, it's... Damn! My head.
What's wrong? Harry? Harry, let me help you. Harry?
Was I dreaming?
You were too late.
It's you.
Yes, Dahlia Gillespie.
Tell me everything you know. What's going on?
Darkness. The town is being devoured by darkness. Strength must overcome petty desire, childish sleep talk. I knew this day would come.
What are you talking about? I don't understand a word of this.
Believe the evidence of your eyes. The other church in this town, that is your destination. This is beyond my abilities. Only you can stop it now. Have you not seen the crest marked on the ground all over town?
So that's what I saw in the schoolyard. What does it mean?
It is the mark of Samael. Don't let it be completed.
Hey, wait!
You know, it's getting rather irritating that Harry never just runs after anybody when he's questioning them. Oh well. At least she left us a key of some sort. This one specifically is for the Green Lion Antique Shop. Oh, once again, with only one lead to go on, we have no choice but to trust Dahlia.
Is it lonely?